Hey loves, welcome to the Goldie Drake Show. I am your host, Goldie Drake, and I'm so excited that you can be here with us on my second episode.
She's a girl who wants to heal the world, face the storms, and she had to fight through, but she broke through. She made it, yes, she made it. And so can you believe in yourself no matter what you go through. She made it, and so can you, yes, she made it. Welcome to the Goldie Drake Show.
Today's episode carries a very heartfelt message, one that I believe will touch your heart deeply. You see, let's be real. We've all been through things in life, things good and some things not so good. But we were born into this world not knowing who our parents were going to be, who our siblings were going to be, or even what this world was really like. So we came in this world blind. But we know that the world is a precious place where we learn valuable lessons. And some people can handle the lessons that are being thrown at them, and some people can't. Some people stay strong and they fight to survive and become better than what they came from, and some people crumble. My guest today is so strong and resilient, and she is here to share her story with us. And I am so grateful that she is bringing awareness to the people that need healing. There are so many people out here, and I was included in this myself. I believe that when I grew up, I had a hard life, and I could not afford therapy. I didn't even know where to get therapy from, okay? And I started watching Oprah and Dr. Phil, and that's what kind of healed me. And it's an ongoing journey to heal yourself. My guest today is here to help those who can't help themselves. And I'd like you to help me welcome Telisa Ann. Hi, Telisa Ann. Thank you so much for joining me on my show. You are my second guest, and I appreciate you coming.
Oh, you're so welcome. I mean, I wanted to do this. I was looking for a way to tell my story, and I seen what you was looking for, and I applied.
Yes, you did. And I was listening to your story, and it was so touching, you know, just listening to the stories and the things that people go through in life. Can I ask you, what was your upbringing like? Like the house that you grew up in, who was in the house? Was your mom married? You know, tell me a little bit about that.
First of all, no, my mother, no, she was a single mother. I mean, she wasn't married. Eventually she got married, but I'm sorry, as I was in the household itself, it was just a lot of chaos. Mm-hmm. It was dysfunctional. You know, I come from a poor mm-hmm. neighborhood, you know, here in South Dallas. I mean, in Texas, in South Dallas. You know, I grew up over there in that area. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of chaos, a lot of police, a lot of stabbings, a lot of killing, a lot of drama, period. Mm-hmm. So that was my upbringing. That's what I was used to. That was, you know, what I was surrounded around all the time.
Okay. And so how many siblings do you have?
My mother has 3 kids. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a middle child. My brother's the oldest. He's passed. Mm-hmm. And my sister's the youngest. So my mother has a total of 3 mm-hmm. kids, but my father has several. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Not surprising. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story that you want to share with people.
Well, basically what I want to share with is how I overcame. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm 51 years old today.
Mm-hmm. And you look amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it was a long journey. It was hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was times I wanted to commit suicide at one time. You know, I think I tried to commit suicide like at least 3 times in my life. Mm-hmm. But God kept saving me. I'm like, why? I want to die.
He got work for you to do, girl.
Yeah, obviously. But it's a lot. It's so much. I mean, like I said, I grew up in that dysfunctional household, you know, parents, watching my mom getting beaten, you know, just the whole drug environment area, you know, being molested. Mm-hmm. You know, one time I got molested 3 times in one day.
What?
Yes, ma'am. And I don't think that I can remember anything before that day, but I remember everything leading up from that day. You know, anything before that I don't remember. But you know, I got molested like 3 times. First, it was some teenage girls, and then it was an older boy, and then it was a full-grown man. And I think I was probably maybe 5. I don't even think I was 5. I was probably 4, because I remember my mother taking us to daycare and you know, the babysitter's house, and that's where we was at. And that's where the first incident happened with the girl, where we was sitting on the couch and she molested me. And then we had this older boy in the house, and he pretty much, you know, took me to the room, you know, and he tried to penetrate me at a very young age. And then afterwards, which is crazy, because my mother, I'm not saying she was a bad mother, but I think some people don't know how to be alone. They feel like they gotta have a man. But when you gotta have a man, guess what? You opening up your kids to different
Exposing
things,
them.
exposing them to different things. But getting back on point, he basically picked us up from the daycare, you know, babysitters, and we went home. I'm thinking it's a normal day. You know, me and my sister, we playing dolls. He comes in, he grabs both of us by our hands. He leads my sister to a closet. He puts her in a closet. I'm like, why is he put in a closet? And he closed the closet door. And he led me to the bedroom. You know, I'm a little girl, you know, I don't know what's happening. And, you know, he tried to penetrate me, you know, and stuff like that. And he used like Vaseline and everything. And this is a full grown ass man. I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, he basically rubbed me down with all kinds of oils and, you know, basically put me on the bed, and I'm laying there completely naked, just looking up, not knowing what's really going on. And he kept greasing me down, he kept oiling me down, and he tried, you know, he kept trying. And
trying to penetrate you?
Yes. Yes. You know, I'm a 4-year-old child at the time, or maybe 3, I don't know. But after that, I don't even remember when he got up, to be honest. You know, I can't even remember when the man got up. But once he was done doing what he was doing, all I remember is my mom coming home. And I'm like, hey, Mom, like nothing happened. But the thing is, I had to use the restroom, and I couldn't. You know, I couldn't use it. I couldn't urinate. I couldn't pee. I was just like, it was burning and all that. I'm like, Mom, I can't pee. You know, you're a kid. You're not even knowing, comprehending what's happening to you. And she came in, she looked at me, and she's like, okay. And she took me to the emergency room. And the love for my mom was still there. You know, it was still there. She took me to the hospital. All I remember is looking up at bright lights. You know, I know I came out with one of those bags.
Like a catheter?
Yes, I came out with one of those on. I was just walking, and I was looking up at my mom, you know, just walking, not really knowing. And you know what? At that age, I didn't realize where I got the word rape from, but I knew the word rape. And so when I would go out and I'd be around people, I would be so scared and stuff like that. Like, oh, don't touch me. You know, you're a kid. I got raped. Maybe I got it from my mom or something. I don't know. I got raped. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. But the thing is, I think the relationship kind of got bad when my mom told me, and she was telling other people, oh, that didn't happen. She's just making up. She's lying.
Oh, I know. That had to be hard that the one person that you're supposed to be able to trust didn't even believe you.
Yeah, and it really hurt. And I get it now as an adult. You don't want your kid going out blasting, you know, telling your business, telling what happened to everybody. But I think the thing is, for me, she never talked to me. It just happened. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why. But she never said, hey, let's sit down and let mama talk to you. You know? I had to mentally figure out things on my own.
Yeah.
You know? And I think when she said that it didn't happen, I started to hate her.
Wow.
I started to hate her right then and there, I think from there on, she had issues with me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell your child that something at age 51, I remember just the day that it happened, you know?
Yeah.
Just as it happened. That's something you never forget.
Absolutely.
But to tell me it didn't happen, never talk to me about it, just moving on in life, you know?
And you know, let me say this. What's not odd is odd, because I feel like the parents back in the day, you know, we in our 50s now. And I feel like the parents back then, they held secrets. It was like a generational thing to do, is to keep secrets. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I understand that too. You know, now I'm 51 years old, you know, in my 50s and stuff like that. I get it now, but as a child, you don't get it.
Right.
You know, when you're growing up as a teen and you don't love yourself, you don't like yourself, you just want to die.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is it you're saying you don't get it? You get it now, but you didn't get it then. And I do understand that growing up from a child to an adult, that we do learn different things. What is it that you get now?
I get that at the end of the day, I ain't gonna even say I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I get that my mom was doing the best she could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a lonely woman. Yeah, she felt like, you know, she didn't want to be alone. She wanted a husband. She wanted a man. She wanted somebody to care. You know, and learning a few things about her own childhood, you know, information and stuff like that, you know. I'm like, okay, I get why she reacted the way she did, you know,
Right.
because apparently, you know, a lot of things happened to her as a child also.
Right. That's what I said.
And so, yeah, that's pretty much why I say I get it now. I get her, not that I get what happened.
Right.
You know, I ain't gonna never get that.
Right.
Period.
Right. And that's why I said in the beginning that everything has a root. You know, then you can look back at your life and look at her as a young mother and realize now that you're older that she went through some things too when she was younger. So
Yeah, and
I mean, it doesn't excuse it, but
no. Yeah, and that's the main thing. You know, I always had the Bible. I was always reading the Bible and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, one thing my mom did do for us, she took us to church. You know, even if she just wanted us to go and she could just be by herself and do her. Yeah, I was going to go to church, get on that church bus, go to church, you know. And, you know, she used to read the Bible to us and stuff like that. So she did a lot. She did the best she could.
So you were between 3 and 5 then.
Yeah.
So as you grew into a teenager, what was your life like as far as interaction with just, I don't want to say your sexual interaction, but your interaction with when you actually you started liking boys. What was that like for you? Was that hard for you?
It was hard, but you know, at 12 years old, I'm still a girl, you know. I'm like, oh, he's cute, you know, and stuff like that. And this was, unfortunately, another bad experience at the age of 12. You know, I'm out there, I'm talking to people. I was a virgin, you know, I considered myself one, you know.
Right.
And my virginity got stolen from me. You know, I didn't say yes, I didn't say no. I just woke up to someone being on top of me.
Wow.
And the thing is, when you grow up in an environment like that and you see it all the time, it becomes normal. So it's not like I even hated the guy that did it. It's like I loved him. You know, that's when people learn to love their abusers. I'm 12 years old. He's like maybe 17 or 18 years old. My mom told him to leave because during that time she had 2 jobs. She worked at night and she worked, you know, night and day. And she's like, when she got ready to go to work, she made sure everybody was gone. You know, nobody needs to be in my house while I'm gone. So I'm not even thinking about it. He befriended my brother to get to me. You know, when you're young and you're 12, oh, you got a crush, he's so cute. You know, you're doing all these things. That's normal.
Right.
You know, but what's not normal is waking up to this person being on top of me, taking my virginity.
Right.
You know, and did I get I had no choice. When I say I didn't have no choice, nobody said, hey, do you want this? I didn't have a choice to say yes or no to this. I just woke up like, you know?
Right.
So as life went on, it's really sad because since I never knew I could say no, if anybody wanted anything from me at that young age, I would just do it. Mm-hmm. You know, I also watched my mom get abused, you know, black eyes, teeth knocked out, you know, just crazy stuff all the time. And growing up, I was always scared. Mm-hmm. You know, I was terrified all the time. And so I was terrified to say no. Mm-hmm. But it's not that I wanted it, you know? Mm-hmm. I just didn't say no. Mm-hmm. So people that, well, they wasn't ready if you didn't say no. Actually, I didn't know I could. No one taught me I could say no. My first experience with any type of interaction with a man was at 3.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I know that as women or young girls, like when we lose our virginity, that, you know, that comes with, I'm gonna be very candid, bleeding.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, did your mother not notice that? Did you talk to her about, you know, like when it came to that point of?
No, I didn't. Only because, remember, she said I was lying about the first incident when I was 3 or 4 years old. So why would I?
Oh, wow.
Why would I tell you, hey, Mom, I just lost my virginity in your bed to this guy while I was sleeping, and this is how I woke up? Why would I? She wasn't there for me then.
Right. That's so sad.
I mean, it's sad, but at the same time, that's pretty much what happened. She wasn't there, so no, I never did tell her. You know, I told her when I first started my cycle, and I remember her reading a book and all this other different stuff. You know, it's moments in there where I was just like, oh, my mommy, you know, I love you, mommy. And it was moments like, I can't see why. I was just, you know, I had a lot of issues in school. I used to act out in school. I was always fighting. I became a bully. But I was still scary at the same time. You know?
I relate to this so much. I do. It's like when you had problems at home, you just kind of go out in the street and take it out on anybody that you can, you know?
Yeah.
So I can relate to that.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was going to start my own gang. I was going to call them the Wildcats. We was gonna go around scratching people, girl. We're gonna get away with it. We're gonna go around scratching people and get away with it. But, you know, that's how I was. I was a little bully, but also I grew up in the area on this particular street in Dallas, you know, where my uncle, he was a manager. So he managed a lot of complex. And I always had all my cousins. We had no outside friends. So that was a big distraction. Like when I was with my cousins, we hanging out, we having fun, you know. You don't really think about it. Stuff like that don't really bother you until you get older. You know, you wonder why I'm not this, why I can't do this, why am I acting like this? You start to question yourself. It's like you taking a look in the mirror. You know.
Right.
But yeah, it was crazy. You know, I used to run away a lot because she did end up getting married, and that man was very abusive to her. You know, he was you know, sexually abusive to me. You know. You imagine as a young woman laying in your room, you sleep, and you done already been through all this other trauma, and now you're faced with this guy. It's like demon after demon after demon. Wow. You know, and it was crazy because when it finally came, my mom, she never paid attention. I'm not gonna say that she was on drugs, but the age I am now, I felt like she could have been. You had to be. You know, something. I mean, why are you keep allowing these people to come in here to abuse your kids? You know?
Mental illness.
Mental. And I get it. But when you're that young and you're 18, I'm 18, 16, 17 now. You know, I'm like, am I adopted? You know?
Girl.
Am I adopted?
I used to feel the same way. I used to be like, this lady cannot be my mother.
Yeah, she can't be.
I get it, girl. So now you're older, you know, you have your own children. And what would you tell the young women out there that have been through what you're going through? I'm talking about the young ones, you know. It's older ones too that still need healing, but the young generation to me seem like they are dealing more with, you know, parents not being there. I'll just say this: the parents now are way different than the parents then, and none of it's perfect. You know what I mean? We kind of are what we learn. You know what I mean? We are sometimes our environment, and even when we come from our environment and we try to overcome, it's still an uphill battle. So what are you doing today, and what would you tell young girls and boys, because boys go through it too?
Yes, ma'am. I will tell them, number one, my Savior is God. You know, Jesus Christ. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God.
Right.
Because it's been so many times where I would be dead. So you definitely have to build your own spiritual relationship with God to get you through those moments when you feel like you're not gonna make it. And if somebody is sexually abusing you in any kind of way, you have a right to say something. And ladies and men, you have a right to say no.
Right.
If somebody's trying to violate you, they're touching your private area. They have, say no. Tell your parents, tell whoever you need to tell, because the first thing they're gonna tell you is, hey, don't say anything.
Right.
This person gonna get hurt if you do that, you know? I mean, I didn't personally have those things, but at the same time, my mom still didn't do anything. But it's just believing in God, because you're gonna feel suicidal. You're gonna feel like you're ugly. You're gonna feel like nobody likes you, nobody wants you. You're not good enough. But that right there, what you're feeling, is not your demons. That's somebody else's demons.
Absolutely.
That's somebody else done put that in you. You know, those are demons. You're dealing with other people's demons.
Right.
And once you're able to get rid of those people demons, other people demons, you're able to deal with your own. You know,
Right.
you got to rationalize. I mean, it's going to be hard. It's not easy.
Right.
It's never going to be easy. Anything you want to do, whether it's you're trying to build a career in something or you're trying to overcome something, it's going to be hard. So the first thing you need to do, me being spiritual, is get a relationship with God.
Right.
He will guide you.
Absolutely.
Period. And know that you are worthy. Definitely know that you are worthy.
Right.
You know, because that stuff breaks you down. And just know that, hey, you're not the only one. There's people you can talk to. Back then, when I was growing up, and my mama, when she was growing up, it wasn't really much help for black people, unfortunately. Men was able to beat their wives regardless whether you was black or white. It was just called domestic violence. But now there's so much help for male and females, because, you got to get the help. You got to reach out. And the thing is, when somebody is not helping you, that's when the mental illness come in, because you don't understand, why am I not getting the help? I need this. Why is nobody listening? Why don't nobody care? That's Satan himself.
Right.
He's shutting you down. It's not Satan in you, it's Satan using other people.
Absolutely. Now, when you and I were talking, you said something about you becoming a comedian.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, growing up with all that chaos and stuff like that, I used to live inside of my head, That's why I laugh, because, growing up with my mom and stuff like that, if you say something out of turn, you getting popped in the mouth, period. Boop, and you shut down. So I would never speak out. I would just keep everything, internalize everything. So in my head, I was this famous comedian. I was this, I was that. I was so happy. And eventually, I started doing comedy. I did my first stand-up show probably back in 2000, I would say maybe 5. Yeah. And it just felt so good, because I needed a release. I was tired of living in my head. I'm like wondering, what if? Because when you grow up and stuff like that, and you grow up in that environment, people tell you can't be nothing, you can't have nothing, In my head, I had it all.
Right.
So I became, comic. I started doing my routine. I was laughing in my head. I used to make other people laugh. If I see somebody sad, I would intentionally go, "What's wrong, girl?" Make them laugh, make them smile, lift them up. I was giving people everything that I didn't have,
Right.
or everything that I wanted. If that makes sense.
And what is you said something about spinning a circle.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Like I said, that kind of goes back to maybe when I was about 12 years old. I grew up around so much chaos. No matter where you go, there was chaos here, there was chaos there, was chaos everywhere. And I just started looking at a ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan was just going in circles, you know, just slowly. And I was like, just, you know. And then eventually, I just got up and I just started spinning in circles. And then I started spinning in circles to music, you know. And I started visualizing everything I want. And I know my cousin, ooh, she in there spinning in circles, she crazy, you. But it was a mental, it was a mental escape for me. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but it was a mental escape. They get it now. I have a cousin like, oh, I know why you was doing it. You know, I know why you was doing it. Yeah, they used to make fun of me all the time. You know, they come in, I'd be, ooh. And during that moment, when I think I started spinning in circles right after the guy died, the 18-year-old, right after he died and stuff like that. The 18-year-old when I, you know, that was on top of me when I was 12.
Oh, okay.
It started right after he died. I guess it was my body, my brain, you on overload.
He died young?
Yes, he died young, and it's crazy because when you're young and stuff is happening to you, you learn to love your abuser. You know, it was on the 4th of July. And my mom was getting ready to take us out. You know, she was good for that. Go out, get dressed, let's go. You know, we looking good. And he was trying to talk to me the day before, and I just looked at him. It's like I hated him, but I liked him at the same time. You know, I didn't know what I was feeling, really. I was only 12 years old, you know, and stuff like that. And when we got back from the parks and stuff, celebrating 4th of July with my family, I called, like, you know, so-and-so over there. It's like, no, he dead. I'm like, what? Huh? I thought she was kidding. I thought she was playing. But she wasn't. He was actually dead. So imagine being taken advantage of by someone that you're in love with just dead.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
You was in love with him, huh?
Hey, I didn't know what it was. You know,
Right.
I knew. I didn't really even realize I cared until I realized what death was. You know, that was my first experience with somebody dead that was close to us.
Right.
It was outside the family. And so, I don't know, I think mentally I couldn't deal with it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't go nowhere. As a kid, when you're young and stuff is happening to you, you feel like you can't move. You can't go nowhere. You know, you feel like you're stuck. So since I was stuck, I started creating my own thing in my head. And I think that's the moment I started to spin in circles. So I fantasizing about a life that was better. I was famous. I was pretty. You know, I had this and I had that. So that's where it came from.
Right. So that was your outlet, so to speak. And so I do thank you for coming and sharing that with us and with the world, and letting people know that, you know, they can find help. And so we're going to get some numbers together to let people know where they can get help from. Okay. And so before we leave, I would like for you to tell me about your new podcast. Tripping in Texas, girl. Tripping in Texas.
It's Tripping in Texas. It's Tripping in Texas with Telisa Ann. I'm tripping with the artists, promoters, producers, comedians right here in the DFW Metroplex. You know, I'm tripping because I love comedy. And when I was doing it, kind of got shut down after COVID, before COVID and after. But I wanted to do something again, you know, because I want to make people laugh. It's a good podcast, you know. It's just me. You know, I was born right here in Dallas, Texas. So why not? And Texas is on the rise when it comes to this whole entertainment thing. Everybody is moving to Texas.
I know.
Everybody.
Yep.
Is moving to Texas, right here in the DFW Metroplex and everything in between. So I'm basically out, just going out, videoing people, interviewing comedians. Hey, I even want to interview from you.
Hey.
Anybody that's on the up and coming, you know, even if you already established, I want that too. Because I feel like Texas can't blow up without me.
They can't blow up without you.
Yeah, I'm a part of the whole blow up, so y'all ain't going nowhere without Telisa Ann name being stamped on there somewhere, make my mark. And of course, I want to give my kids something. It's my legacy.
Right.
And like, I don't know if you're familiar, everybody familiar with Kevin Hart, Laugh at My Pain. Okay, this is what I overcame. When I overcame my pain, this is the product of my pain.
Right.
God molded me into what I needed to be. So comedy, laughter, photography, stuff like that. That's what I'm in. So Tripping in Texas podcast.
Yes, girl. I cannot wait, and I'm going to be a guest. I'm like, we got to support each other, girl.
Definitely.
We got to support each. Okay, before you go, I bought your gift.
What you got?
It's not a lot, but
it's like, let me see what it is.
Something.
Let me see. Okay. Look at you. Let's see what we got. Let me see. Okay. This is what we have. We have Master Self-Love Inside. Look at that. We have the Goldie Drakes t-shirt.
So yeah, Master Self-Love Inside is my brand.
Okay.
Because I believe that once we master self-love inside, I believe in self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-love.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And then we can move forward from there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then help the next person.
Yes, ma'am.
What a powerful story. I want to take a moment to thank my guest, Telisa Ann, for having the courage to come on the show and share her deeply personal story of surviving childhood molestation and overcoming suicidal thoughts. Your strength and transparency remind us that healing is possible and that our stories can help others find hope. Thank you so much. If you or someone that you know is struggling, please find one of the numbers listed below and call and understand that you are not alone.
She's a girl who wants to heal the world, face the storms, and she had to fight through, but she broke through. She made it, yes, she made it, and so can you.